Why, hello there everybody, how you doing today? Hope you are doing fine. Today we're gonna build a cool vanilla JavaScript project. And this is great if you're a beginner in JavaScript, or even great if you don't have that many projects in JavaScript. So this is a good way to start, I believe, because hey, you're working with APIs and real world stuff, and then you're gonna add the content as you can see here. So you're pulling data from a API and then you're gonna inject it in your page and you're gonna get these cool things. So you're gonna get the time zone here, you're gonna get the Fahrenheit here, and if we click it, it's gonna change to Celsius. And you also get this cool SVG here that's gonna represent what's going on, okay? So we're gonna add this as well, and this changes. So if the weather changes, you're gonna see a cool sun icon here, and we're gonna take a look at that as well. So before we move on to the video, I wanna actually ask you guys a question. Would you like to see like a beginner JavaScript series? So I've been thinking about doing a modern JavaScript tutorial series. So all the way from beginning all the way to more advanced topics, but we're gonna do it with ES 2015. So we're not gonna be using var and functions. We're gonna be using everything modern, arrow functions, also const and let. And obviously I'm gonna explain the differences between the old ways and the new ways and why certain things are better or what's different. And yeah, just let me know. So please write in the comments down below if you wanna see that happening. All right. Let's get going. So let's build this thing out. All right, so I have an empty HTML here going. So I don't have anything. I just linked my style sheets here, and I linked my app.js, which both are empty, by the way. So we can start working on our HTML here. So let me quickly stop the previous server I have running, and then we can open up this one right here. So we're gonna click Open Live, and it should pop this up here. Perfect. So I'm gonna drag this down here, and for some reason when I have two monitors this never works for me. So I'm gonna drag this a bit smaller because we don't really need to see anything right now. All right, so in our body we're gonna go in here and we're gonna add just some minimal HTML here. And this, by the way, you can expand this. So, because we're gonna pull a lot of information from this API. And if you wanna add more things, then it's gonna be very easy. So what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna create two divs. One that's gonna display the location and the icon, and the other one's gonna display the temperature and the description. So let's do a div here with location, all right? So this is the div with the location, and here we're gonna have the h1, which is gonna be the title. So we're gonna say time zone for this one. And we're just gonna say class, we're gonna add a location time zone to this, like that. Good, and here we're gonna have a icon. So for now, we're just gonna put a placeholder here. We're just gonna say P icon, but we're gonna change this in a bit. All right, so moving down here, we want to display the temperature and the description. So for that, we're going to say temperature like this. All right. And then here we want the to display the Celsius or the Fahrenheit. So I think the information we're pulling from the server is actually in Fahrenheit. So let's just name this degree, okay? Let's keep it simple. So we're gonna say H2 with the class of degree here. And this is gonna be our Fahrenheit. So we can actually just write a random number here. Let's say 32, 34. Good. And here we also need, what do we need? Do we need something else? We need the description. So we're gonna say, let's just say description like this. All right, and here we're gonna say it's freaking cold because we're in January and it's very cold. And actually, to keep it tied to this, I'm gonna say temperature description like this. All right, so we have our degree, temperature description, and we can also name this, I guess, temperature degree, so we know which section we're talking about. like that. So we keep it consistent with this as well. All right, so this is everything we need. All right, let's go into our CSS here. And let's just add some basic styling to this. We're gonna remove all the margins, and we're gonna also remove all the paddings here. So we're gonna say padding 0 and box sizing. We're gonna say border box, like this. All right, now we're gonna work on our body here, because these are literally the only two sections we have. So we're gonna add a height of 100 VH to this, so it's full screen. We're gonna say display flex, justify content, we're gonna say center. Actually, I'm gonna move this in column. So I'm gonna say flex direction column, like this. If you need help with Flexbox, I posted a tutorial a few days ago explaining everything about Flexbox. So if you're interested in that, take a look. All right, and let's do align items center as well. So just centering everything like that. Let's add a linear gradient to this. So we're gonna say background, linear gradient. I have two nice looking colors here, which are RGB. We're gonna say 47, 150, and 163. All right, and then we have RGB, deleted my thing, 48, 62. Actually, let's close this up so we have more space here. Boom, more space. 62, 143. Let's see how that looks. Should look decent. There we go. We're gonna say font family. Let's just add sans serif here. It's just way better. Color white, so we can see everything very, very clearly. Awesome, good. All right, so let's modify this a bit, these two sections that we have here. And so we have the location and the temperature, so the two big sections. We're gonna say location. So for location, we're gonna add a height of 30 VH, like that. We're gonna add let's add a width of 50%, like that. We're gonna say display flex, justify content space around, and we're gonna add align items center. All right, so what we have now is just a bit of space between this and the icon here, so it looks better. And I believe we can actually just add the same thing here to the temperature. So if we do temperature, so our temperature class, like this, there we go. But the difference we can do is just select temperature separately and just add flex direction column to this. Is actually, we need to display the Celsius or Fahrenheit here. So we need to wrap this around in another class actually. So let's go back into our HTML, and I'm just gonna name this, let's say degree section, okay? So this is all about the degree. And we're gonna just close it up in here, and I'm just gonna add a span of, let's just say Fahrenheit, okay? From Fahrenheit, like that. All right, just added this. And all we need to do is just select that degree section here. I'm gonna say display flex to this and align items center. All right, there we go. Select the span separately. Just add a bit of space to this. We're gonna say a margin of 10 pixels. Let's make this larger a bit, font size. Let's go 30 pixels. And we're gonna make the H2 here also larger. Degree section H1. H2 or H1? I think it's H2, yep. We're gonna say font size, let's go 40 pixels. So this is the information we wanna see very, very visibly. And also, let's add a cursor pointer to this section so we know it's clickable, so we can change between the two things. All right, now this is kind of messy CSS, I apologize, but it's the fastest way I can make this happening, okay? Because I wanna focus more on how to build this out in JavaScript, how to pull out the information from the API and all the other good stuff. All right, so we're gonna leave it like this for now. And then let's go into our JS. So go into your JS here And the first thing we need to do is actually get the longitude and the latitude from our location. Now, there's a very, very simple way to do that, and it's actually built into JavaScript. So let's do it. First of all, we're going to say window.add event listener, and we're going to say load. So we're going to use this so after our page loaded, we can get the location. So we're going to say load, and we're going to just do an arrow function here, like so. All right, so after our page loads, basically this function runs and everything inside here runs. It's kind of, if you knew jQuery, it's kind of the equivalent of load, onload. How was it? Onload? I haven't used jQuery in a long time, so I don't even remember properly. I believe it's onload. Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so here we're going to define the coordinates. So we're going to say let, and we're going to say long, the longitude, and we're going to say lat, which is the latitude. All right, so the way, what we can do is actually say if, and we're going to say navigator dot geolocation. So if this thing exists in the browser, then we can find the exact position of the user. Now remember, this will only work if when you access the site, there's going to be a pop-up here that's going to say allow geolocation or not. So what you can also do is add an else statement here, and if it doesn't work or they don't allow it, get the h1 off your page or something and say text content, and you can say, hey, this is not working because reasons, okay? So you can say, hey, please enable your thing, or maybe your browser does not support it. So this is why we add this if statement here. So if you want to do that, definitely do that. All right, so here we can say navigator again dot geolocation dot get current position, like so. And here we're going to have access to something called position. Now you can name this whatever you want. I'm just going to say position. And here we're going to run an arrow function like so. And actually we can close this out because we're not going to be bothered with the HTML for now. Like this. And if we console log this position, you're going to see we're going to get all the coordinates here going. So let's open this up. And as you can see, we have the position here, and we have some chords, and we get the longitude and the latitude. So to access this, all we have to do here is say our longitude. All right, so this one up here is equal to our position. So the information we get back from this position dot, and we have chords here. As you can see, it also displays it. And if we press Control Space, you can actually get the information here. So if you say dot, and look at that, we get automatic completion here. Longitude, boom. Let's get the other one. Latitude equals to position dot chords dot latitude. All right, so we pulled out the information that we needed. All right, now what do we do with this information? Well, we need to access the weather, right? We need somewhere to pull that weather out from. So to do that, the best one I found and the easiest I found was something called darksky.net. So you can go here, and it's free, which is great because hey, everything that's free is nice. So you can go on darksky.net here. You can go on the Darksky API. You can click it. You can click try for free. You can make an account. And after you do that, you can go to your accounts console. You can go to your console, and you're going to get this sample API call here. That's going to give you a ton of information. Now, you need this API key, which conveniently they place it here in your code. So basically how this works is you have the website, then you have your API key, and here you have your latitude and your longitude right here. All right. So what you're going to do is after you made your site, your account, you can copy this from here, and you are going to paste it down here. So we're going to say const, we're going to say API, and we're going to do quotes and paste this sucker in here. Actually, let's go back. let's not do quotes, let's do backticks. Okay, so the number next to your 1 and paste it in like so. Good. Let me close this up. There we go. All right, so what we need to do is basically all we need to do is just modify these two informations here. So remember, this website, if you check the documentation, uses this as the latitude and the second number as the longitude. So we're gonna get this here, so before the comma, and delete it. And all we have to do is say $. We're gonna open up some brackets like so. And all we have to do is say lat, and we can actually copy paste this here and just change this to long. So the longitude, and that's all we need. Nice. Now I'm gonna do something and then I'm gonna tell you why it's not working. All right, so here to get the information, we're gonna use something called fetch. So we're gonna write fetch, and what this does is basically tries to do a GET request, which is basically getting information from this following URL. All right, because if you click on this, if we copy paste this, you're gonna see that we get this nice information of a random location here. So the longitude, latitude, time zone, currently what's going on, and all the other good stuff. So, but the only difference is that we replaced it with our own. So let's make a call. So all we have to do is say fetch, and then we have to say API. All right, so we're fetching this thing with our own custom latitude and longitude. And after it fetched, so after it got the information, we can say then. So all this does is basically, hey, after you got that information, then I can do something with this data. So here, all right? So that's all it does. You get the information, and when the information arrives, because this might take some time to get from the server down to you. It might take like a second, half a second, and you don't want to run everything in here only after, you only want to run it after you get it back from their server. So that's why we use .then, and this information is gonna run only after you get it back. All right, let me not repeat myself 10,000 times. So here you can name this anything you want, data, response, whatever you want. All right, so we get back the response here. We're gonna use an arrow function, and this is conventional. You're gonna have to take this information and convert it to JSON. So with JSON, you can easily use it in your JavaScript. So to do that, all you have to do is say return. We're gonna say response.json, like so. And after, again, after it made it into a JSON, you can say .then again, and this is where we have the actual data. So let's do another arrow function. We're gonna say then data, console log data, and this is not gonna work. So if we save this, you're gonna be like, Ed, why are we even bothering with this if nothing's working? You're gonna say API is not defined. Okay, wait, we have another issue here. So why is API not defined? All right, const API. So we fetch the API. All right, so it's not because it's only available in these brackets. So let me copy paste everything from here. I apologize. Copy paste everything from here and just paste it below this code here, because our API is not available outside of this bracket scope. So let's paste this in here, hit save. Let's see what's going on now. All right, so look at that beautiful error. It's gonna say, hey, Darksky API does not allow you to access this API from localhost because it has cross-browser origin, whatever. You're gonna get this error a few times, but what it's basically doing is for some reason, they're not gonna let you access it from localhost. As you can see, it works just fine here on Chrome, but on localhost, it's not gonna work. So to get around that issue, so it's basically called a course issue. There's this cool thing that I found, which is the simplest way I can get around this error. It's a site called course.lineanywhere.heroku.app.com. All right. So what this is going to do is basically it's going to act as a proxy, and it's going to allow you to make requests even from localhost. So we're going to copy this course.anywhere.heroku.com, and we're going to go back to our Visual Studio Code here, and we're gonna say const proxy is equal to, and we're just gonna stick this thing in here. And here we just have to do again $, and we're gonna say proxy. And then everything is gonna work just fine. So hit save there. Let's go back. Let's see if this console log gets console logged. And look at that. There we go. So we get back a lot of information here. We can get back the currently, daily. So you have every day here. You can get icons, summary, what's happening, hourly. There's a lot of information you can mess around in here. So as you can see, it brings back a ton of data. Flags. I'm not even sure what this is, but hey, we're not gonna work with that. All right, so what do we do here? Well, let's pull out a few information from this. So I wanna pull out from this data currently, all right? We're only gonna use currently for this. So in this currently, let's take out the temperature. We're gonna use the temperature, and we're gonna use the summary, okay? So flurries. So let's go back here. And a good way to do this is actually like so. We're gonna say const, and I'm gonna leave space here, and I'm gonna say equals to, and I'm gonna say data.currently. So I'm accessing this data.currently like so, and here if I do brackets, I can pull out all the information from data.currently. So this is a cool way you can shorten your syntax. So you don't have to do every time like data.currently.temperature like so. You can just do temperature here, which is going to pull out temperature from data.currently. So this is a shorthand in ES 2015. Good. So we need the temperature. We also need, let's pull out the summary here. Summary, like so. Good. Now up here, let's define some more. Up here, let's define some more elements. So let's pull out the actual information. Let's get the actual HTML elements. So we're gonna get the time zone here. We're gonna get the temperature degree and the temperature description. So let's say let temperature description is gonna be equal to document.query selector. We're gonna say temperature description like so. We can copy paste this one, and we're gonna say temperature degree. We're gonna pull this one out as well. Temperature degree. All right. What else do we need? Let's make this smaller. Kind of want this to be in one line, and it doesn't want to give it to me in one line. All right, we have this temperature degree, temperature description. I'm gonna have to make 10,000 cuts now. Let's also get the location time zone here. So we're gonna paste this again. We're gonna say location time zone, which is gonna be location time zone. So this element up here. All right, I think that's fine for now. And the cool thing here is we can just add everything down here. So to do that, all we have to do is just access these things. So here, actually, I'm gonna delete this. Actually, let's leave it so we can actually look at the data that we're getting back here. So let's go here and let's just say set DOM elements from the API. All right. So we're gonna write that, and all we have to do is just change the text. So we're gonna get the temperature degree here, temperature degree. All right, so the DOM element up here, and all we have to do is say dot text content is equal to, we're gonna get the temperature from this API. So we pulled it out from the data.currently in this temperature. So all we have to say is temperature. Hit save, let's spray, and there we go. We have 36.15. Let's see if that is accurate. So 36.15, there we go. Hey, it works. All right, so for the other ones, it's quite simple. We just repeat the process. So temperature description is gonna be .text content. It's gonna be equal to summary. Hit save, and it's freaking cold. It's not freaking cold anymore. It's mostly cloudy. Good. The last thing is the location time zone, and that actually we can pull it out of, we don't need to access the currently, we have it right here. So Europe, Berlin. So all we have to do is just say we have location time zone dot text content is equal to, we're gonna say data dot time zone. Hit save, and there we go, Europe, Berlin. Awesome. All right, let's clean this up a bit. We're gonna remove this console log, like so. All right, looking good. So let's get this icon working. So to do the icon, we're gonna use something called skycons. So if you write skycons, we have this cool thing here, all right? So basically SVG canvas elements, actually canvas elements, not SVG elements. And how this works is basically you define a new skycon, and then you add a canvas somewhere here. You add the canvas in your HTML, and then you say what kind of SVG you want to use in your canvas. So partly cloudy day is going to display the partly cloudy day, which is probably this one. So what we need to do is we need to modify this according to whatever is going on in our app. So to basically get this, all you have to do is go to GitHub. We're gonna hit clone and just hit download as a zip. So all I'm gonna do is just open this thing up, the zip folder, and just drag the skycons into our app here. All right, close everything up, and you're gonna see it appear right here. So we have our skycons going. Nice. All right, so what else do we need to do? Well, for this one, we can actually go outside here. All right, so below where you have this single quote bracket. So this is gonna be right outside of our navigator here. All right, so down here. So below this, all right? So we are just in this window.load function right here, okay? So right above this, we're just gonna create a function that's gonna take care. We don't wanna like put 10,000 things in our then response here to get it bloated. So we're gonna separate this a bit to make everything a bit more clearer. We're gonna say set icons, and we're gonna get the icon here and the icon ID, because these are the two things that we need. So if we go back somewhere, if I still have skycons open, so we need to declare skycons, new skycon, then we need to add an icon. So this is the ID, all right? Here in the canvas, as you can see, the ID. So this is like a query selector in a way. You get the ID of the canvas, and then you say what kind of icon it should display. All right, so you just grab the element here, and then you display it with the built-in skycon elements that it has. So this is kind of the same thing we're doing. We're just getting the icon and the ID here. So what do we need to do? We need to say const skycons, and we just initiate the skycons library here, like so. And here we can add a property, so you can change the color if you want. I'm just gonna say white for this one, like so. And then we need to say const current icon. Now how do we know what the current icon is? Well, from the API, we actually get back the icon here, partly cloudy night. But the difference is everything has like a simple line here, not an underline like we have in SkyCons. So as you can see here, every element has a underline like so. So what we need to do is take everything from our icon here and just basically replace it with the underscore. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, actually we need to get I believe we need to get the icon from the API. So to do that, let's go here. I believe it's in data.currently. Let's see, currently icon. All right, so we can pull out the icon from this. So we're gonna say icon like so, hit save, and then when we are gonna run this function, we're gonna add this icon. So here, again, this is just so this is where we're actually gonna run this set icon. So this is where we add this icon from the server into here. So what's gonna happen is the icon is gonna arrive here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna say replace, and we're gonna say slash like so. We're gonna add a line. We're gonna say slash again G, and we're gonna say comma, and then we're gonna say quotes, and then underscore. Whew, that's difficult. So what this is gonna do is basically it's gonna look for every line, and when it finds every line, it's gonna replace it with the underscore. So that's all that's happening. And another thing we need to do is, as you can see here in these SkyCons, everything is uppercase, like so. So to get around that issue, all we have to do is say to uppercase. That's gonna take the whole thing and just uppercase it here. Good, hit save on that. And to initiate, so the animation goes off, all we have to do is say skycons.play, like so. And then we're gonna return skycons.set, and we're gonna add the icon ID here, and then we're gonna say skycons, like so, and then we're gonna add this current icon like so. So again, all we do is we add the ID, and then we add the skycons.current icon, which is gonna be the thing that we're getting back from here. So up here, we're gonna say set icon. So here is where we invoke the function. So we're gonna say set icons, and remember we need these two properties. So the icon is gonna be the icon we get back from the server, so it's gonna be the same like so. And the ID, if we check here, well, we need to replace it with the canvas. So just copy this one here and place it in here. So we're gonna replace this B with this. We're gonna remove the ID. We don't need the ID. We're just gonna add a class of icon to this. And here, to get the ID, all we have to do is say document query selector icon, like so. Hit save, and let's pray, and let's see what's wrong. There's always something wrong. SkyCons is not defined. Why are you not defined? All right, so this needs to be uppercase, like so. Let's hit save. SkyCons is not defined. Oh, okay, so how about we actually link our SkyCons in our HTML? How about that? Let's add source, and we're gonna say SkyCons. Ugh. There we go. So it's gonna say mostly cloudy. We have this nice animation. So again, to run through this very quickly, what's happening here is we defined a function here. We add a icon and the icon ID. So if we look at the documentation here, the icon and the icon this is the icon ID, and this is the SVG. Then let me open up real quick. Then we just replace whatever we get from the server with the underscores, and we uppercase it just so it conforms to SkyCons naming here. And then we just run the function. We add the icon, so the icon here on our HTML, we select it, and then we just put in our icon. So this thing, the long thing that we've been working on. And then we hit skycons play, which is gonna animate it. And here we just return it so we can run it up here. Good, all right, so that's done. The last thing we need to do is change this to Celsius whenever we want. So to do that, let's go up here. Let's just do it up here. And we're gonna say, I know I said that we should probably not pollute this with 10,000 lines of code, but let's just finish it now. But definitely separate these things and add them in separate functions would be more viable. All right, so here, what we can do is basically we need to listen to an event on this thing. So when we click it, it should change. So that is our temperature degree here. So let's select it up here. We're gonna say const temperature. Oh, we have it selected. All right. So we do we? Yeah, it's temperature. Oh, it's temperature section. My bad. We're gonna say const actually, let's say let now. We could have changed everything here to const temperature. Mistakes were made. Temperature section is equal to document dot query selector, and we're gonna say temperature section, like so. Good. So down here we're gonna say change temperature to Celsius, Fahrenheit, like so. All right, so what we need to do is, let's also select the span here. So const temperature span is equal to document.query selector temperature section, and we're gonna say span, like so. If you want, if you're smarter than me, you can also select it with the child nodes, but this is way faster. Good, so here what we want to do is we want to check if it's on Fahrenheit or on Celsius. So how do we do that? Well, first we're gonna run the degree section. So we're gonna select the degree section here, temperature section, the temperature section. We're gonna say add event listener, and we're gonna listen to a click event, and we're gonna run a function here. So here we're gonna check the span, the temperature span. So we're gonna say if temperature span dot text content is triple equals to F. All right, so if it's on Fahrenheit, then what we want to do is say temperature spans. We're going to select the span again. Dot text content is equal to Celsius, and then we're going to copy paste this line, and we're going to say else it's going to equal to Fahrenheit again. So if we see now, let's see what's going on. It's going to say add event listener of null. So we didn't select something correctly here. Temperature section add event listener click. Temperature section. So we probably messed this one up. Temperature section. And we need the dot here. And the dot here as well. So we missed these two dots. Click save. And now if we check, let's refresh. It still says null. Let's see why it's null. Temperature section. Let me see if that's correct. All right, so it's not temperature section, it's only temperature. All right, I did not name these correctly, so I messed everything up. So it's just temperature here and temperature there. Hit save. Let's see now. And it's working. Very nice, very nice. Oh, the naming conventions. I'm gonna keep these as sections now, because they are the sections. I should probably name this sections as well, but it's too late now. All right, so we're getting this to change. Now, the last thing we need to do is change the actual degree. So to do that, here, what we're gonna do is, let's actually define what degrees are in Celsius. So we need to do the formula. Now, how do we do the formula? So here we get back the temperature. So let's do it above the icons here. We're gonna say formula for Celsius, like so. And all we need to do is say let Celsius, and our Celsius is gonna be, and I need to look at this because I'm not that smart, so I got this off the internet, obviously. We're gonna say temperature, like so. So this is gonna be our Fahrenheit. And we're gonna say minus 32. We're gonna say multiplied, where's my multiply? Multiply by, we're gonna say 5 divided by 9. So that's our formula. Now here, down here, we can change our temperature degree, which is, let's see, temperature degree, okay. So we can say temperature degree dot text content is gonna be equal to Celsius. Hit save, let's see. Wow, so we get this ugly ass number here. Now to get a quick fix around this, we can just math.floor this one. Let's just math.floor. We're gonna say math.floor, and we're gonna say Celsius. And else here, we can just put back the temperature degree dot text content back to the temperature that we get from the API. And hit save, and everything should be working fine. So yes, there we go. Everything works fine. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I apologize if we messed up the naming conventions there, but yeah, I tried to put everything very quickly together, and it seems like sometimes you mess up. Hey, what you gonna do? I'm a human as well. All right, hope you enjoyed this one. I know this was a bit of a long one, but hopefully you learned a few new things. And yeah, let me know again if you want to see that JavaScript, full-on JavaScript series. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, we're almost hitting 1,000 subs, and we're just so early on in January, and we're doing so great. So I appreciate it so much. And if you're new here, I'd highly appreciate if you drop a sub. And yeah, that's it for me today. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.